Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to send a video, and this is a paid request actually from my friend Mike of Speed Communications, who wanted me to react to a video. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, reaction, commentary, review, re-review, playing a game for an hour, or full playthrough, tier list, ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. PayPal's usually the best bet. I do have a Patreon and a CashApp. People have asked about that. All those links are down in the info box. I will get to them as soon as I can, and for those who sent them, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I won't be showing the video because it's not my video to show, and I don't want to steal the person's video. Plus, YouTube's copyright system is really broken, tremendously broken, so I don't trust it. Get mad at me all you want, but I'll have the link in the info box if you want to have another tab or window open and follow along with me. But he wanted me to react to a guy named InFrameOut, who pretty much did a video on the unsung brilliance of Alien 3. Now, of course, I can already tell you that I will disagree with. And I know Mike was like, I'm gonna go. It's like Jerry Maguire. I know he said, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm going crazy. No matter what is said in this video, at the end of the day, it's the guy's opinion. I disagree with it. Well, you haven't heard it first. I've heard many of the things of Alien 3. I love Aliens to death. The way it's screwed over aliens and the prisoners, not giving a crap about them. Bunch of bald psychos who are murderers and rapists, and I'm supposed to care. No. Charles Dunn gives a good performance. Charles Dance isn't too bad, but I wouldn't say I cared about Charles Dance's character. Charles Dutton, I liked his performance, but I mean, the rotoscope of the alien looked really screwy. I know I said, oh, go back to the first one. Okay, so I'll just go watch the first one again. Just something different. Well, you just say went back to the first one. So which is it? So obviously I'm going to disagree with it, but hey, it's this guy's opinion. We'll see how it goes. I'm pausing at the beginning. It's 17 minutes and 48 seconds. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. InFrameOut. I haven't seen this guy's videos. I like that the Simpsons episode with the X-Files, Mulder and Scully in it. Neil Blomkamp's Alien film we never got to see. Yeah, there's a radio play on the Alien 3, one of the William Gibson strips. Yeah, Prometheus, my god. Little penis monster. Like, Jesus. Well, I disagree. Well, okay, he watched all 4 of them when he was a kid, back to back. To me, I like the first 2. Okay, pause. 1 minute 17 seconds. He said Alien Resurrection makes up for his misses, which there are misses, with its wiry energy, weirdness, and set pieces. I'll say this. I don't like Alien Resurrection. If you're asking me between Alien 3, Resurrection, Prometheus, Covenant, and Romulus, which I would rather watch between those, I guess I would say Resurrection. Begrudgingly so. I can agree there's weirdness to it. Energy. I don't know. Set pieces, maybe. I mean, really, it's the one scene, though, with the underwater that goes right into the ladder sequence. I mean, they're really part of the same scene. The scenes people remember, the underwater, and then go up the ladder, and Ron Perlman shooting upside down. That's really the only set piece you don't remember. So it's one, set piece. Two little set pieces of part one, but I mean, that's not enough for me. But 1 minute 17 seconds. I just want to give those thoughts on there. Play now. Prometheus can't stand. Covenant's pathetic garbage. I agree with that. I agree with that. Why would you want a nihilistic movie? I don't understand that. I don't know if you like the character in the first two. Why would you want a nihilistic movie? I just don't understand that rationale. These were just two different points of view. Yeah, the great ending of Aliens that they screwed over. Yeah, fairy tale ending. What's wrong with that? He didn't say it's wrong. I'm just saying. And there's the aid. But the way the aid is, when did the alien pop an aid there? The queen. I mean, yeah, it's now listed. I agree with you. I guess it comes down to if you like not listed movie, then it's the movie for you. I agree with him on Alien, classic. Pause. 4 minutes 6 seconds. I don't know where he gets that. Where they have this kinship between hunter and prey, where the alien's like brushed off as if it doesn't matter. I'm saying they're doing. No, I mean it arrived. I mean it just happens to be there and arrived. It wasn't really brushed off. It wasn't like it was sent there on purpose. It just a queen that, in the midst of being in the damn thing, popped an egg out of his ass and put it in the corner somehow that nobody noticed. Yeah, I don't get that rationale. I don't get that. But I'm paused. 4 minutes 6 seconds now. Being depressing as hell. That's what it does to stand out. That's true. They do suck them out of space, and they didn't here. Oh, get over yourself, dude. 5 minutes, 8 seconds, pause. There's no one in brown face to Jeanette Goldstein. Get over yourself. Give me a break. Get off your high horse, man. My God. You pansy ass PC pussy. Is that what you are, dude? Give me a break. That's why nobody who is of that nature gave a shit. But the white guy gives a shit, of course, because the white guys are the people that cared the most. The white guys are the one that get the most butthurt. Funny enough. He's pissed that Jeanette Goldstein played Vasquez because she's not really that. Yeah, and the guy I'm looking at, he's not really a dumbass whose IQ is, 5. Guess he should have gotten an IQ, dim-witted guy to play that role. 5 minutes, 8 seconds, on pause now. Give me a break, dude. I don't think the cast is exceptional because you barely know them. You barely get to know them. You barely tell them apart. They're bald and they got barcodes. Yeah, Charles Dunn and Charles Dance are the only ones you could tell apart. They're the only ones that given something. So he says Charles Dunn and Charles Dance are the most well-rounded supporting cast in the entire franchise. Yeah, with a strip that wasn't finished, which shows in the movie. Pause at 7 minutes, 19 seconds. Yeah, even David Fincher hates the film. I know you said David Fincher, he tastes lemons, he made lemonade. Even Fincher hates the film. Does he even realizes the issues and the plot holes and all the things that do not make the most sense throughout that film? Whether it be the idea of why don't they just go outside? Because it's too windy? Like, get a bunch of supplies, go outside, and if the xenomorph is inside, then let it stay there until some kind of help, some kind of thing comes. Or they figure out best thing to do, go outside. They never go outside. And we see that, it's windy, but would they rather be, oh, it's windy, or worry about a xenomorph killing your ass? And I sorry, I was listening to what the guy was saying. I didn't want to, that's why I was silent for a bit. The whole idea of, those are more well-rounded supporting characters. I mean, I guess to be fair, like, there's backstory for Charles Dance. There's people, and then they died. But I mean, for Charles Dutton, it's pretty much he's a prisoner who's religious. And let's fight. Fuck that thing. I mean, ideas within the story, maybe they're more well run than the other characters in the movie. I guess I'll give you that. But I mean, you could also say about Tom Skerritt and his character being the leader and possible sexual thing he had with Ripley. If you want to look a bit deeper into that, I guess to be fair, just because the fact he's a prisoner, then you can infer a lot of things into that nature, and because Charles Dance gave that one scene monologue about what he did as a doctor and people died, and thus he feels guilty about it. I guess maybe if you want to argue that, fine. But I mean, you can infer a lot of stuff for a lot of characters that, like Charles Dutton doesn't give a lot of his backdrop. But you say same with Bill Paxton and Hudson, a guy who's cocky and who's arrogant, but then humbles himself throughout the course of Aliens, where we just got our asses kicked, pal. And you think he's going to be the weasel guy that's going to turn on people, but he doesn't. He stands up for his compadres. And you may think he's a guy who's going to screw up, but he actually helps out, whether it be killing a face hugger to protect Newt, whether it be to do what he's told and trying to set up a perimeter. Yeah, maybe thin, but a lot of the characters you say are thin in the entire franchise, including Alien 3. So you base it on personality, you base it on the actors, you base it on, lines of dialogue that you remember. Like Charles Dance, yeah, he's given a bit of a backstory, but would I find him like a really great character? Nah, it's okay. Charles Dutton has a lot of personality and a great speech. Thus, I like the character because of that. But it's not like you get a well-rounded backstory about him. You can infer, just like you can infer with a lot of characters throughout the franchise, including the first movie. But I mean, if he believes that, teach their own. 7 minutes 19 seconds. Unpause now. And again, he mentioned like David Fincher. Even he hates the film. Even he thinks the film sucks. Well, Amen's enforced to just pause. He mentions, well, this is the only time when people go in and usually they shape the hornet's nest only for then the attack, the horror to take part in within the characters because they shoot the hornet's nest. While here is a bunch of people and then a monster falls from the sky. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then is AVP Requiem? That's the same thing. But he doesn't include AVP in these movies. So AVP Requiem, that did the same thing too. Monsters fell from the sky, besieged a small town. So can we then get AVP Requiem, that same amount of well-regarded I mean, whatever the point he's getting at with here, where it's different, it's unique, it's away from the pack what the other Alien films did. where they were just characters minding their own business, relaxing or hunting in the woods or doing whatever, being a cop, being whatever they wanted to do in that town, being a pizza delivery boy. But then this outside force, two of them in fact, besiege them, and they have to figure out what to do and how to survive. Also, I mean, when you say it's shaped in the hornet's nest, it depends how you look at it, because in the first Alien, they were sent there and they were ordered to do it, so it was kind of, they were forced to do it. They didn't do it on their own reconnaissance. They were told to do it. Colonial Marines, it was, at least they would view it, a rescue mission. So yeah, you just technically say they're coming to get the hornet's nest, but for different reasons. One was they're told by a company, oh, what's the signal? Here is, hey, there's people in trouble. We need to help them. There's some juicy colonists we need to save for their virginity. They're still different enough from the other, even Alien Resurrection, it's different enough from the other films, so it's not technically the same thing. Plus, I mean, by that rationale, they did shape the hornet's nest because they did the down and dirty being rapists and murderers, and they ended up on this prison plan in the first place. If they, they shoot the hornet's nest just long ago before the film starts, so they shoot some hornet's nest in between a lot of women's legs. So 8 minutes 4 seconds. Unpause now. Whoops, I screwed up. Unpause now. They have it coming. And most of these people you don't know about. Like, there's no personality. Yeah, they should be cast down. They're rapists and murderers. So fuck them. Maybe don't be a rapist and murderer. Don't do that. A pro-choice? What? This is about pro-choice? Pause. 9 minutes 14 seconds. You want to say this is a pro-choice thing? Dude. She gives birth, she dies. If all the women out there who are pregnant, if they knew that they would die if they give birth, you think a lot of them would be pro-choice, dude? If they're pregnant and they knew that if they did this, they'd die, trust me, a lot of pro-choice people would be changing the bit of their tune. Just saying. Just saying. So I don't know if that's the best way to put it. Saying this pro-choice when I have this parasite. That's what it is. It's a parasite in your chest. Ready to kill you. And if there was a better opportunity to take it out, she would. It's just, well, they're going to use it as a weapon and kill people and make multiple, and a lot more people are going to be hurt and killed. That's not the same as pro-choice. I mean, if they knew maybe, like, if they knew they were going to have a Jeffrey Dahmer, Charlie Manson, then maybe I'd get your point, dude, but there's nothing about pro-choice. It's not like I need to keep this as a part of me and it's my life and I need to do this because it's going to ruin my afternoon at the baseball game or something. What the fuck, dude? You really don't say this is a pro-choice thing? Really? 9 minutes 14 seconds on pause now. Nine minutes and 32 seconds pause. It's not for the right to what happens to her own body. It is, but it's the fact that they're going to use it to have a weapon to kill other people. That's not the same as, okay, a woman got assaulted and they have a baby. It's either the have the 9 months and it's a pain in the ass, literally, and then you just have it for adoption and things of that nature. Which I'm like, if that's it, I mean, it's such for the people who were assaulted, but I think people know that there's an exception to the rule. That yes, if you're assaulted, that's different from, you got drunk and you decide not to put the hood over the ornament. It's a more complicated issue than this guy's made it out to be, in my opinion. But 9 minutes 32 seconds unpaused now. The fact you're really going to the pro-choice thing, give me a break, dude. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. My God. Give me a break. Yeah. Which makes so much sense that Ripley would just out of the blue have sex because that's the time to be horny. Pause. 10 minutes 46 seconds. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the time to be horny. Think about it. You're going through all this stuff, right? You've been through all this stuff in Aliens. You wake up. This girl that you saved. You were that adamant to go into a nest and wipe out aliens and risk your life to save when you could have left. It's not like, oh, she's just someone I met, for five, well, she was, but to have that much terror, to go in and rescue her, especially watch the director's cut, because it reminded her of the daughter that died and she couldn't come back home for her birthday. To be in the mindset to go to a nest and save this girl and deal with all these xenomorphs and get the hell out when she had the opportunity to get the hell out in the first place. And that's the thing. If Ripley just left with Hicks and Bishop, she'd be alive. Unless for some reason the aid was... No. They would have been safe because it came from the Sulaco. They get in, they get the hell out of Dodge, they'd be alive. They'd all be alive. But all the stuff she did, then she finds out, Hicks is dead. Okay, maybe she barely knew him. Okay. Newt is dead. She's on a planet of prisoners. The one time you don't want to think about sex. And he's like, yeah, ooh, fuck. This guy I barely know. That doesn't make sense unless you're an idiot or a whore. Okay, Ripley the whore. Okay, she's a whore or she's an idiot. Either way, she's a whore or she's an idiot. well, you don't think women could fuck? Not in this situation when you're in like the worst case scenario. There's no time for love, Dr. Jones, as a wise kid once said. Give me a break, dude. That's another thing that makes sense about that damn movie. Stupid. Out of blue stupidity. 10 minutes 46 seconds unpaused now. I'm gonna be horny because I'm in a prison full of rapists. It does. Which it did. I'd read Nick Cage. I'd read Nick Cage. Dude, 12 minutes into it saying, well, Newt and Hicks are not three-dimensional characters. Neither is Charles Dutton. He's a pissed off guy who found religion. There you go. There's your depth. It's just that he gives a good performance. Most of those prisoners are just assholes that want to fuck Ripley in the ass. Even Charles Dance. He's a doctor. He killed some people. He's sad about it. I mean, it depends, I guess, what your view of three-dimensional is. I mean, by that argument, then no character except Ripley is three-dimensional. That Ripley's the only three-dimensional character in the whole franchise. Hey, maybe you have an argument for that. Maybe you would have an argument for that. And I could see that. But to say that... if that's the case for Hicks and Newt, then the same is for Charles Dunn and Charles Dance. So give me a break on that. 12 minutes and 2 seconds. Unpause now. Well, Tyrion didn't give a bad performance, asshole. So I know I'm being a dick. Being a dick. A what? Oh my god, he really said... oh my god. No wonder Mike wanted me to react to this. 12 minutes and 52 seconds paused. He says that... well, aliens makes it seem like the only reason Ripley exists is to have a spouse and a kid. And that's what makes her a good character. That supposedly, like, a woman can only have a spouse and a kid in order to be... and I'm sitting there going... dude, are you fucking serious, man? Are you fucking serious with this? You think she's that strong of a character in Alien 3? You really think she's that strong of a character in Alien 3? Where she has sex with a random guy who, in a prison full of rapists, not thinking twice how that could be a bad fucking idea. Where you don't even know if this guy's clean. Don't have the STDs full of shit. Like... How if this movie was realistic, a dozen would have just grabbed her and game-banged her. I know there's one scene they tried, but once would not be the only time they try. They would have tried a dozen times. The dozen guys would have tried a dozen times. In reality. But then you want to talk about all this bullshit about how it's such a great masterpiece. Trust me, if this was the real world, she'd be gaping holes everywhere the size of Grand Canyon. Hate to be a bearer of bad news. I know that's vulgar, but that's the truth. And you know that's the truth. Oz times 10. Let's just get this over. It's 5 minutes. 4 minutes. 12:52 unpaused now. Nude and hits are not shallow. What the hell are you talking about? You don't even know what the hell you are talking about. 14 minutes, 31 seconds pause. He said they made a painless end. They literally say in the movie she drowned. She drowned. Drowning is not painless. Dumb fuck. She drowned. There's water in her lungs. That's not painless. I don't care how much asleep you are. A crash where you get your head cut off, you don't feel something. Painkiller may do a lot, but it ain't going to save that. I'm not watching the rest of this shit. I'm done. I'm done. This guy is full of it. This guy is full of it. To sit there and talk about how the brilliance of Alien 3 is because saying that they're shallow characters because Aliens was just... I'm sorry I'm not saying it in a more smarter fashion. I'm just discombobulated about what the hell this guy was saying. You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. Like, you want to talk about how it was pro-choice, which I'm sitting there going... I'm not sure how many people will really take about that being pro-choice. You want to talk about how supposedly it's one of those things where I know I'm just going around in circles, so let me get this actually so some type of cohesiveness. You want to say that aliens Hits and Newt were only good, well, that they weren't good characters, they were shallow, lame characters that only served to make Ripley whole, and how that's a one-dimensional, idiotic fashion where there's much more to a woman than just a kid and a spouse, which the movie never said That's all it takes to be a woman. That's like negating all the other stuff she did in the second film. She was a strong woman that also had those at the same time. Her having a spouse and a kid is not what made Ripley Ripley. It was her tenacity. It was her courage. It was the fact that to save the kid, it was her courage to do that. It was her fighting her PTSD to be able to live further. But apparently her fight her PTSD didn't matter when all happened is her fighting her fears, her fighting her nightmares, wanting to sleep again in a better state. Apparently didn't matter because all you have to do is land on a damn prison planet and have a bunch of one-dimensional assholes look at you and Google you with their eyes. And Ripley, as a character in Alien 3, if you think about, I mean, what makes her so much of a great character compared to Alien, since the guy wants to go on that route? I mean, she stands up for herself, to be fair. But she's always about, I should die, I should die, I should die. No, help us first, help us first. And if she was so much about pro-choice, then why didn't she just kill herself earlier? From the get-go. Not care about what the man said, like Charles Dunn and Charles Dance, what, more Charles Dunn, what they said, which I don't know why she should care about a bunch of people who are ready to rape her and get her cornhole out of her socket. It's because of the possibility that maybe some way, in some shape, in some fashion, we could find a way to change this. Now, granted, there is the decision Charles Dunn goes, I'll take care of it. It first, then you. So to be fair, that's more of the progression of it. That's more of the destination that Ripley is thinking of. But at the same time, I'm sitting there going, well, if she's really in control of her body, why did she need another guy to do it? She's in sole control of her body. Like, you want to say how women are so in control of their bodies, but she needs the man to kill her. She can't do it herself. She needs the guy to decide. No, you're not going to die now. You don't wait until this, and then you do it. But that makes her stronger. Oh, I don't choose when I die. I gotta wait for Charles Dunn to tell me when I die. But that makes her stronger. And that's her own arc, is the pregnancy and dying for the pregnancy. If you want to talk about arcs in Alien 3. Because apparently, that's another thing I find weird nowadays, that this notion throughout the years that femininity is a bad thing. That motherhood is a bad thing. And yeah, you're more than that. No one said you were not more than that. No one said Ripley isn't more than the motherhood, isn't more than anything. No one ever said that about Aliens and about the character of Ellen Ripley. But you look at the character in Alien 3 of Ripley, what does she represent other than a dead husk just ready to have a tombstone set upon her? Sad, morose, screwing random people because she don't care anymore. That's the only rational explanation I could give. Until she dies. And then she dies. So all that fighting, it don't matter, people, because life sucks. And you're going to die eventually. So no matter how much you fight, it don't matter, because you're going to die. And no matter how you try to solve a problem, and no matter how much courage you show to overcome the odds, and be selfless, and save someone who's not you, wasn't just because of motherhood why I like Aliens and her saving Newt, is to show her courage, to show her getting out of her PTSD nightmare. And she could finally stand on her 2 feet and look herself in the mirror without shaking and shivering and vomiting, just like Paul Reiser was describing her. When she's like, I wouldn't be much help if I went with you anyway. When you find out that's the exact opposite. I think that's more of a service to Ellen Ripley than Alien 3, where it's like, yep, life sucks. I'm screwed. Better die now. I can't do it myself. I gotta let the guy do it. So go ahead, guy, do it. You won't do it? Fine, I'll listen to you. I'll do, okay. She even needed the guy's help to get her on the platform. But yeah, he wants to talk about how it's about singular and she don't need no kid. She don't need no spouse. Well, she needed a bunch of guys in Alien 3. But you don't want to talk about that with Unsung Brilliance. If the guy ever sees this, to each their own. We agree to disagree. He's obviously doing something right. Video has 40,000 views. A lot of people agree with him. He has almost 40,000 subscribers. He has more subs than me. He's got more views than me. He's got more love than I did. So, obviously, I guess people agree with him. He's on the right track. I'm just of the minority. Oh well, shit happens. Teach their own, agree to disagree, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.